Welcome to another episode of Crosstalk. My name is Kevin Tocci, and I will be your host for the next 30 minutes. Now, as you have come to expect from this particular program that we try to do on a regular basis, we try to use it to shine a bright light on some of the things that are going on in the two communities that we serve, in the Whitman and the Hanson area, whether it's something that's an issue, whether it's a new business. Maybe it might be an issue or an upcoming event, or maybe somebody from the community. Whatever it may be, we try to use this as a way to inform and educate the folks in the community. So we thank you very much for joining us. Today, we're going to transport you to the Whitman Public Library. We're going to do that with the help of the Assistant Director. She is Marcie Walsh-O'Connor. Welcome.
Thank you.
To Crosstalk. Let's, for those who may or may not know you, I know those who are patrons of the library know who you are instantly, like, oh, Marcie. But those who don't know who you are, tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Marcie Walsh-O'Connor. I'm the Assistant Director. I started in September. I was formerly at the Mass College of Pharmacy and Health Sciences in Boston. I've been working in public libraries since I was 13 years old. This is a calling for me, and this community has amazed me at every turn. Their unending support, their willingness to help is amazing.
What is it about public libraries that you like? What is it about helping people? Maybe you're somebody who's a reader. What is it about public libraries that you feel is a calling?
Because it's a common ground. No matter who you are, we let you in. You can have as much money as anyone, or you can have no money, and you can use our resources. And it is a place to be educated and entertained.
What's some of the things that you've immediately become fond of at this particular library as opposed to anywhere you've been in the past?
It's community, it's staff. The staff is supportive and helpful. The director has been out on leave for a couple of months, and they've all risen to show me the ropes and assist with great things. We have a new children's librarian that is doing amazing programming, and I've never seen a staff in a community so impassioned about their library.
Would you say it's kind of like family? Is it kind of like family where you guys are all coming together and it's for the good of the community to help them and assist them at every turn? Yes,
and I've seen in some libraries where, these are the policies and these are the rules and this is what we have to do, where I feel Whitman, it really evaluates every step of the way. Like, how best are we serving our patrons?
And I think you said you live in Rockland, you're from Rockland.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just right up the street.
Right.
So to speak. How do you feel Whitman differs from any other library that you've been a part of, or that you've worked for, or that you've experienced?
The space in itself is, as soon as I walked in it took my breath away. It's one of the most amazing, smallest libraries I've ever seen, where it has everything you need. And it's beautiful inside, and the people that are in there are really amazing, where everyone kind of works together to get everything done, and their children's room is phenomenal. I've never seen that dedication to the materials inside and the actual space.
Now, I know this, like a lot of libraries, has a number of things that they have on a regular basis. What's your thought as far as some of the programs that they offer on a daily basis? If you could kind of talk about that real quick.
Sure. We do 2 story times, one for little kids, babies 0 to 3, and then we do one for 3 to 6. And those are really well attended, and I expect they'll continue to grow with the new children's librarian. We have some great early elementary school programs. We have this new Kids on the Book, where for beginner readers, they can come and discuss a book every month. We have some teen programs, which are great, and she's doing, at the end of this month, a teen art studio, which I think she'll continue every month. So it's really fascinating. I just started doing an adult coloring program on the Saturdays that I work.
That's big.
It's huge.
It's big, and it's funny you say that because me and my significant other, we were out somewhere, I forget where we were. I don't know if it was a mall or something. She's like, I'm thinking about doing adult coloring books. I go, what? She goes, yeah. She goes, it's. I know some of the girls she works with. They do it. What is it about the adult coloring book that's fascinating?
I think it's something that resorts you back to as a child. This was fun, but it's a very relaxing, and they've equated it to almost meditation.
Really?
And I think for a lot of people, it's very accessible. You just have to either buy a book and some colored pencils. So at the library, we've bought all the books. We print out some pages. We have all the colored pencils, and you just sit and color for an hour, and then you go home.
But wait a minute. What about those people when as kids couldn't color within the lines? What's to say that as adults they can color within the lines they struggled as a kid?
Well, I think for most kids, it might have been material based. My 4-year-old daughter has a really hard time coloring in the lines with colored crayons.
Yep.
So with the colored pencils, you can spend that little more attention to detail. But I have a wide range of papers that I usually hand out, some that are a little, you'd have to really pay attention, and then I do, just a basic. So whatever your skill set is.
Is it a color by number type thing?
No.
Or is it a matter of you see an area, you can kind of pick your different shades of blue or green or whatever it might be that's needed in the area?
Yeah, whatever you choose. I have seen some coloring books where it's by number, but usually we do the free form.
So what's some of the things that the adult coloring books have? Again, this is,
Yeah.
as you folks can see, I'm fascinated. What is it just things that you talk about, like meditation? So we're talking about quiet settings, stuff like that, maybe a picture of a lake with trees and grasses, stuff like that?
It's all different kinds. I've seen a lot of like Star Wars adult coloring books, Harry Potter, but they might even have just designs like mandalas and paisleys, just kind of free form. It's basically up to you how intricate you're going to make it by what colors you're putting in it. I've also seen like a lot of animals, and so I usually do a wide range when I print out, and depending on the season, like I did one around the Christmas time, so it was a lot of winter scenes and snowflakes. Last time I did it in January, I had some bookmarks so people could color them.
I want to say is this is fantastic. The idea of having Marcie here is to talk about an event that we're going to talk about in just a couple of moments. But I saw it as a moment to kind of seize upon introducing a new person who is at the Whitman Public Library, and talking about a couple of things. I feel as though we struck upon a little bit of gold, and thank you very much for at least kind of going over that ground, and at least maybe there's a few folks who are watching at home going, oh, wow, adult coloring books. That's going to be fascinating. Or when we talk a little bit about this thing you got coming up about a PJ Drive. What is this? What is a PJ Drive? And this is something that started earlier this month, and this is going to go until the middle of next month, correct?
Correct.
Yep.
Cradles to Crayon is a company that helps homeless children with various different drives. And through February into the beginning of March, they do a pajama drive with the Boston Bruins. And so it's whoever collects the most pajamas, they have a couple of prizes that the town could win.
Ooh.
So here's everyone's incentive. We could have a skate show from Bruins alums.
Okay.
We could also have a visit from the Bruins mascot.
Blades.
Yeah.
Blades.
Or we could win 100 pucks.
Really?
So these are incentives. We also, the trustees have generously decided anyone who donates pajamas could waive up to $5 of late fees. So you don't have to be a Whitman resident to do that. If you have some late fees on your card and they have held you back from coming into the library, this is an opportunity for you to get rid of those late fees. We also are raffling off a doll bed with a teddy bear in it. For anyone who donates pajamas, they'll get a free raffle ticket. We're also accepting checks made out to Cradles to Crayons.
Okay. What are we looking for as far as an age range? Do we have one?
Birth to 12 years old.
Okay. So that could range in size,
Right.
so to speak. Give me your thoughts on being able to help kids in need and doing it through something like this.
I just think that these are kids that might not have a brand new pair of pajamas ever in their life. And to see that and to realize that there's something everyone can do. They can go to the store. They can spend $10 and just bring in one pair of pajamas, and that will help one child have something warm or comfy to go to bed in. And I think that's amazing. The town of Whitman already, we have several buckets full of pajamas, and we'd like to see some more.
Well, here we are. We're talking again. It just started just a couple of days ago, and you're already telling me that Whitman has raced out. I don't know if it's a lead or not, because we don't know. How many communities are competing? Is this all the communities on the South Shore? Is it in Massachusetts?
It's all communities in Massachusetts. Each community decides whether or not they want to be a drop-off location. So
is Whitman a drop-off location?
Yes, we are. So the Whitman Public Library, you can drop off the pajamas there, and then we'll send them to Cradles to Crayons for you.
What are you hearing from people who are dropping it off and who are getting involved? Do you hear people feeling as though they're helping?
Very excited about it. They're just so enthused, and the staff is just excited. Aside from that, they might win prizes. Even before some of them knew that there was an opportunity to win prizes, was like, this is something we need to do to help everyone.
So from what I'm looking here at some of the information that we have, whether you folks want to know it or not, I guess last year, 6,000 pairs of pajamas were donated to this particular drive, in courtesy of the Boston Bruins and Cradles to Crayons, which is phenomenal. Now, is there a buzz, whether it's with residents or folks at the library, as to what they would like to see, if in fact Whitman is one of those, top communities that does well in the drive?
I think either the street clinic with the Bruins alums or the visit with the mascot would be very awesome. I've heard both from staff and patrons being like, oh, that would be really cool if we could meet the mascot.
I will say this, and I've been privileged enough, fortunate enough, to have worked and done stuff with the Boston Bruins alumni. And they're a fantastic organization. And if they're involved in it, when you think of pro sports, the first thing you think of, you wonder, oh, these are guys who, they made millions of dollars, and they could care less. When you think of the sports, whether it's football, baseball, basketball, hockey players are usually the most humble guys. And have the Boston Bruins involved in it, knowing that, I think Rick Middleton is the alumni president right now. Great guy. Anybody who is old school Bruins will know who Rick Middleton is. Bob Sweeney's another guy. And if that's something that the community wants, is like some kind of a skating demonstration, that would be huge.
Yes.
And you said something about the mascot. You really feel that maybe like the kids would like to see blades?
Yes.
Okay. What haven't we mentioned in regards to this particular event that we're doing this? I mean, is there any worry that you guys will slow down? What are you going to do to kind of keep promoting this? Have you spoke with your local paper, or?
I think we'll just keep promoting it until the end. We'll talk to the Whitman Hanson Express. We do occasionally promote on Facebook and the Whitman Pride group on Facebook. So we'll just do probably a couple of final pushes if we see a slowdown. But so far it's been pretty good, pretty steady.
Okay. What else do we got coming up at the Whitman Public Library that you want to take a couple of minutes? I mean, we've got about another 15 minutes left here.
Okay.
What else would you like to talk about? Some of the things that are going on that maybe people don't realize the Whitman Public Library offers on a regular basis?
Every second Friday of the month, one of our librarian staff goes to the senior center and does a book buzz. So if you frequently go to the senior center and you can't get to the library, it's something they have a book discussion. It's not a set book every month. They just sit and talk about certain things they're reading and watching, and the librarian brings movies and books, so you could check them out there as opposed to coming into the library.
What's the advantage of that, of having a book buzz and having something where everybody kind of discusses? Is that kind of you feel that's like informative for somebody who may not know about a particular book and it might pique their interest?
Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people are hesitant to join a formal book discussion group where this is the set book that we're reading, and maybe this isn't something I want to read, and they never choose books that I want to read, where they could go and talk about what they're reading. And again, someone else may be like, oh, that sounds like something I would like. So to have just a little lax in what a normal book discussion is, I think is very valuable for some people.
Now, how about as far as at the library itself? Are there book clubs, and do you have book clubs depending on age? Do you have maybe for the teens, maybe for those who are in the 20s and 30s, and maybe folks who are a little bit older? How does that work?
We do have one for the little kids, the new kids on the book, and the teen program that she does is more of an advisory board, but I think she'll probably get into maybe a little formal book discussion as she gets her bearings straight. I do a Literary Lions that meets the third Wednesday of the month from 3 in the afternoon to 4 p.m., and we discuss a classic piece of literature. The group is amazing. I'm always encouraging new users to come in. So that's for right now. We do have Mary's book club that meets, they take January and February off, and that I think is maxed out at its users. It's pretty well attended.
Okay. Do you have a favorite book? And if you don't, what are you reading right now? Are you somebody who reads multiple books? Are you somebody who one book at a time, and once you get done with that, you're grabbing another book? What do you do?
I'm reading 2 books right now because I do the Literary Lions. I'm reading The Scarlet Letter. That's our selection for this time. We just finished a bunch of classical Greek plays, so this is a big departure from that. So I'm enjoying reading this again because I had read it in high school. And I'm also reading In a Dark, Dark Wood, which is kind of similar to A Girl on the Train. It's a thriller. Main character wakes up in the hospital, and now we're backtracking through what led her there and what went awry.
Is that your favorite type of book? Is the murder mystery? Are you somebody who likes the nonfiction? What do you like when it comes to saying, okay, not something that I'm part of a group, but if I'm going to be out buying a new book, or if I'm going to be signing on a book, what kind of a book do you find yourself gravitating towards?
I tend to go back and forth between murder mystery thrillers, and I do a lot of what is the euphemism chick lit, women's fiction.
What
stuff.
is that?
Stuff like The Shopaholic, similar to a romantic comedy movie.
Okay.
There's usually a main strong female lead. She gets into hijinks, gets herself out of it, that sort of thing.
Okay, so it's almost like a sitcom, so to speak.
Yes.
But it's something that has pages that you get to read as they get into trouble and find their way out.
I tend to read more for escapism. My spouse reads more nonfiction, so I can't read it 'cause I need to get away. So.
Okay. What is the technology drop-in? It's something I noticed that the library has.
I'm there almost every day to assist people with technology issues, but these are formal times that I set on the calendar that people could bring their device in, or I could sit with them at one of our computers and we could go through some things. So I have a couple of patrons that they bring their laptop and they're like, all right, how do I access my email? Can you write it down? I'll practice at home, and then they'll come back the next time I have it and they'll be like, all right, what's this? Or they got a new tablet for Christmas and they're like, can you show me how to borrow library books on it? So it's a wide range. I have some woman who comes in and has a spreadsheet of her finances, and there's some formatting questions she has every now and again. So
very interesting. So you're the technology guru?
Yeah, I try really hard to stay current. And
how hard is that? Because it seems like every time you turn around, there's something new, some new piece of technology that we're being sucked into. I mean, the latest thing that I'm getting involved with is Periscope, and it's like, I remember Skype, and it's just like they find new things to try to just, have you be a part of it.
Yes. And I think I try and read a lot of technology blogs. That's what I do on my off time. And I make sure that when I get a new device, if it's something I'm unfamiliar with, I try and I'll grab a manual and I'll look through it. I had someone who had asked me a question about how to use like the voice features on her phone so that she could better use her apps because she's visually impaired. So I'll just do some research. I'll actually Google and see what I can find, what other people have worked, what other things, my video game device at home broke, so I Googled it, and someone had said that cat had eaten through the cords, and you know what? I had 2 cats at home, and sure enough, I looked at the cords, and they ate through the cords, and bought a new cord, and it worked fine.
When in doubt, Google is your friend.
Google is your friend, but a smart librarian who knows how to use those resources is even better.
And that's fantastic that now, is this something that you've taken on since coming to the Whitman Public Library?
Yeah.
Was it something that there was a discussion, or was it something that your predecessor did that, and then as you're coming in, one of your roles was, okay, we're going to have people who come in and maybe technology isn't their strength, but you can be somebody who bridges the gap for them.
The assistant director is really the reference librarian slash adult services librarian. So that's typically the key. I'm the one who's supposed to be in charge. If something breaks, something goes screwy, or someone's having a hard time, that's what we do. We just got a big, huge bequest from a patron who had died. So we are using that money to get all new computers for the library, which will make a big difference to the town.
Wow.
So.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's another thing. A lot of people don't realize that the library is much more than a book.
Yes, absolutely.
It's much more than a book. People go to the library to use the internet. I believe that the library still has movies.
We have lots of movies.
Lots of movies.
Our person that buys the DVD collection is phenomenal. We have a huge collection of movies and television shows. So.
And now somebody could sign these out for?
Feature films go out for a week. Television show goes for 2 weeks.
For how much?
It's free.
It's free. It's free. Say that again.
It's free.
It's free. My favorite 4-letter word. Free. And people don't realize that.
Yep.
You can't afford Netflix, you can't afford cable. I hope you can afford cable to at least watch us. But if in fact you're not somebody who can go out to the movies, nothing wrong going down to the public library and signing out a movie.
We just got Black Mass in this morning. So if you didn't catch it on film.
Oh my God. I might have to go. I believe I have a library card. I might have to go down and check it out. That is fantastic. That's a fantastic movie, by the way. Wow. How many copies do you have?
I think just one.
Oh no.
You might have to wait.
Okay, we'll have to keep Paul, don't edit this until I get down there. No, I'm kidding. I saw something else on your calendar. Drop-in craft. Is that anything similar to the technology part, or what is that?
So that's during school vacation week. Okay. We have
which is coming up.
Which the children's librarian will do a bunch of things for kids that are less formal, so they don't have to sign up. They can just drop in. So from like 10 to 11, you can make a craft, and you don't have to stay the whole time. And so she's doing a special on peanuts the week of February vacation.
Okay. And I saw something else here. Read to
a dog.
What is that?
So for some children, their reading isn't where they should be for whatever reason. Okay. And a lot of children have a hard time reading aloud.
Oh.
So if they practice reading to a dog that's not going to criticize them or walk away, then it really improves their confidence.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so we have Elise. She's a beautiful black lab, come in every so often, and children can sign up and read for 10 minutes to her.
Wow. And what kind of success are you seeing with that?
Usually gets pretty full. She's there for an hour, and we usually have 5 sessions, and they're pretty full.
Okay. I want to kind of while we have 5 minutes left, let's again remind folks again, we've had a fantastic conversation with Marcie, who is the Assistant Director at the Whitman Public Library. And I want to remind folks, we touched upon it the midway point of the show. Just in case you're tuning in now, a reminder, the 9th annual PJ Drive. Again, give them all the details of the PJ Drive and the importance of it, if you could.
Sure. These pajamas have to be new. They're going to homeless children. One pair of pajamas gets you $5 off your late fee. It gets you a free raffle ticket to win a doll bed. It's a great opportunity to help the community and help everyone.
And people don't necessarily have to bring in pajamas. They can make a donation, right?
Right. We are accepting checks made out to Cradles to Crayons as well.
Okay. Anything that we haven't touched upon while I've had you here, and you've been a fantastic guest, but you want to make sure that you touch upon it while you're here when it comes to the Whitman Public Library and any of the programs and things that you offer.
We also have home delivery. Say, for instance, you can't get to the library, whether it's permanent or temporary. Say you broke a leg and you can't drive for a couple of weeks, we will deliver your books to you.
See, and do you do pickup too?
Yes.
See, I don't see, now here's the thing I don't understand. If you have that kind of a service, and I understand that it's for folks who aren't necessarily ambulant and have problems, that's awesome.
Well, it could be even for a child that is out sick for a while and needs some books for a report, or it could be just, a regular person that can't drive for whatever reason. It doesn't have to be an elderly person that's uncomfortable driving anymore.
See, you're never too old to learn something. I didn't realize that at least the Whitman Public Library will deliver books to you if in fact it's due to illness or some kind of a physical problem that you cannot get down there. You have movies. You have Black Mass. Got to get down there. I got to rent that. That's or at least sign that out. Website. If folks want to find out more, maybe they didn't get enough here. Maybe there's something we overlooked, but they can always go and scan. What is the library's website?
www.whitmanpubliclibrary.org.
Now, you're going to make a promise to me that you're going to come back. Maybe we'll have you back in 6 months.
Sure.
And kind of update us to what's going on. Maybe there'll be some new program. Maybe there'll be a new movie that I can sign out, stuff like that. Promise?
Yes, absolutely. Right. Thank you so
Marcie,
much.
we want to thank you very much for being a guest. And I want to thank you for checking out Crosstalk. Like I said, we do our best to bring you programs. If you have an idea for a particular program that we could highlight, or we could have a conversation with a particular individual in the community, you can always send me an email, whcatelevision@gmail.com. Just put attention, Kevin Tocci, Tocci, and I'd be more than happy to check it out and book the guest. I never say no, so, well, it depends, unless my director asks me, Paul Watson, who's doing a fantastic job behind the glass. Until next time, you've been watching Crosstalk. Have a great day.
How do you convince a 14-year-old girl that hair doesn't matter? When the diagnosis is childhood cancer, where can parents turn? CureSearch.org can help. It's run by doctors and scientists whose research has led to an overall cure rate of 78%. You're not as alone as you feel.